story of Jack Brabham is a story of achievement. From a simple beginning in the suburbs of Sydney, he rose to great heights in the highly competitive world of international motor racing. As he grew up, he developed a keen interest in motor cars, not only in sitting behind the wheel and driving, but also in what makes them go. He began as a speedway driver and then graduated to road racing. By the mid-1950s, Brabham and his Cooper Bristol were a familiar part of the Australian motor scene. In 1956, he went to live in England as a Cooper Works driver, and in 1959, he returned to race in Australia. Only 15 years ago, this race at Orange clearly underlines the enormous gap which existed between the sport in Australia and international motor racing overseas.
Brabham leads Ted Gray around Brandy Corner, followed by Alex Mildren, number 4. There's a close race for 4th place between Len Lukey, number 5, and Arnold Glass, number 2. Werner Grieve leads Doug Whiteford, and Curly Bryden completes the leading group. This is a race over 100 miles, and the slower cars are beginning to fall behind. Here the tail-enders are passing the pit area, while Jack Brabham takes the Cooper Climax around Brandy's in a perfect line. He encounters a new hazard on Total Straight when billowing smoke from a nearby fire is blown across the track. This doesn't affect Brabham as he steadily increases his lead. It's starting to rain, and Doug Whiteford in 2nd place is a near casualty as he rounds Brandy's corner. Arnold Glass, number 2, is in 3rd place, just ahead of Len Lukey, number 5. Brabham is content to maintain his lead over Doug Whiteford with half the race over. The pace has slowed down, and Brabham has dropped his maximum speed by 20 miles per hour when he travels down the mile-long straight. Doug Whiteford makes a desperate effort in the final laps, but Brabham is almost a minute ahead. He takes windsock and goes on down the straight to meet the checkered flag.
For Jack Brabham, 1959 was an outstanding year. The international motor racing season starts with the Monaco Grand Prix. In those days, Sterling Moss enjoyed a film star reputation, and he was the pre-race favourite. But Jack Brabham, the quiet Australian, who had never won an international Grand Prix, was destined to surprise the experts with his consistent performance. The course through the narrow, twisting streets of the Principality involves more than 2,000 gear changes, and it's a stiff test for both the driver and the car. Sterling Moss fails to complete the course, and Jack Brabham in the Cooper Climax records his first win in an international Grand Prix. The presentation by Princess Grace and Prince Rainier. By December, Jack Brabham is the leader in the World Drivers' Championship, and the United States Grand Prix at Sebring is the final race of the series. Only one other driver, Sterling Moss, has a chance of beating Brabham for the championship if he can win this race. In the early stages, it's Moss first, Brabham second. The Sebring course takes its toll of some of the lesser drivers, but the major interest is in the 2 leading cars. In the middle stages, Sterling Moss pulls out with mechanical trouble, and Jack Brabham, number 8, has only to complete the course to win the World Championship. Bruce McLaren, number 9, has moved into 2nd place, and the race is dominated by the Cooper Works team. Brabham and McLaren speed towards the finish. It appears to be all over, but there's unexpected drama before the end. In the last lap, less than half a mile to go, Brabham runs out of petrol, and Bruce McLaren at 22 is the youngest driver ever to win an international Grand Prix. In an atmosphere of great excitement, Jack Brabham pushes his car across the line in 4th place to become the first Australian ever to win the World Championship.